Hello everybody, another video here. This video is gonna be about your inner image, about illusions, and the standpoint of a 5D. But before I begin with the video, first of all, a few news. I spoke with the people from India, and currently with the coronavirus, we are going to postpone this workshop until further notice. We'll see how the things are. We can make plans, but sometimes the plans are the way they are. Currently, they're restricting travels and stuff towards that region, and we are going to postpone it. We maybe do some workshops someplace else. We'll see where and when. We're gonna working out to see, maybe possibly we'll do it someplace in Italy. I already kind of like contact few people, see how that it's gonna go. So that it's the news that you can use. I'm trying to be a little funny because the material that I'm gonna talk to you, it's a little bit more serious. It's a little bit more serious than what it is. Few years back, I was talking about the inner image of you. That's what happens when you get an ignite in the soul from that person, and now that inner image only is that person. That inner image stays in front of you. You wake up with that inner image. You get up with that inner image. You live with that inner image. You eat with that inner image. Basically, you live with that presence of that energy. Since the things are not going okay, I suggested to quite a few people to replace that inner image with the universe. Basically, to put the universe, the God, on the throne of you. And since we shifted into the 5D, now I understand the full benefit of this. Now, through the 5D, the energy is completely different. That energy is not the same. That energy works in its own magical way. When we're talking about inner image, there was a questions that was brought in to me through YouTube, and I'm gonna post that post. And this is my answer into about this. What actually happens into the 5D? Just so you know, I'm appreciated so much about the people when we begin to be awakened in the soul. Back in the days, we're talking about 6-7 years ago, where we talk about the twin flames. There was only a few people who were bravely enough to breaking in this pattern about the twin flames, who brought the term twin flames out of the shadow of the 3D into the 4D. As you know it, there is not a lot of videos about 4D. That is the world of the duality, as you know it. And I suggest to you before in quite a few videos, check your reality. What dimension of conscious inside of you have. When you evolve, you're going to be evolving, and you're going to open up the area of your own self, of the subconscious. And when you open the area of the subconscious, that area of subconscious, once it's open, becomes the part of the conscience. And that's how you evolve from the 3D to the 4D, in the same way you evolve from the 4D into the 5D situation. So I'm going to begin with this video. So basically, as you know, my channel is about to help you out. I hope the information is going to come out clear and helping you out, because it's much better to live in the real world than you kind of like hanging out to that inner image inside of yourself. Because there's going to be a point of time when you have to evolve to that point, there is going to be a time when you're going to be crossing that path into the 5D. It doesn't matter if you're going to cross it with a person or you're going to be crossing by yourself, as long as you're crossing it. The whole part is you to cross it. When you leave everything into the hands of the universe, of that inner image inside of yourself, then the universe is going to be arranged the things for you. Back in all the holy books, it said, live your life in the hands of God. So a lot of the people don't understand this. They don't leave everything in the hands of God, and that's why they have their own inner image instead of using the connections to God, using the connections into the universe. So the universe can bring what is right for them. So, what was the question? John Burnett from YouTube. Dio, did you not reply to my questions? Have you moved on from your original twin flame? The answer is yes. If so, then how can we have more than one twin flame? I'm very, very confused. The word here, the key word, it's confused. What is the confusion though? So I can make a little clearing here. Confusion is created by two things, what is not truth. Neither the one, neither the other. So what is the truth? The truth it is about that I move on. How you going to accept that truth is about you. The realizations that I did and the crossing over with that new person of it, it is so amazing, can describe the things that we just heard what twin flame is. Kind of like I'm going to be staying away from the term twin flame. We're going to be talking more about spirituality, spiritual connections, spiritual relationships, soul relationship. Because the term twin flame, right now, the people, they just make a big poo-poo over that term. They did something very bad to that term. A lot of people using the term just to attract money or create some kind of business. A lot of the people who have nothing to do with twin flames, they're using the twin flames so they can create popularity. A lot of the people who abuse this term to create things, they just made a big giant people of the whole this part. And when you come to the twin flames and the 5D, you will understand that that term currently as energy is what it's present. It's not what it was originally made it for. So I will stay from that term because it is what it is. It doesn't resonate anymore. It doesn't present the value that was supposed to be, and it doesn't present the energy that it is. Simply in the 5D, the understanding that goes along with this, it's got a completely complete energy representation of that. I have listened to almost every single video of yours, but this seems to be contradict all of them. Please let your followers know. Alright, so this is what I do. Let my followers know. So here's what my answer. I did move from her. There is no reality with her since I crossed into 5D. The 5D destroyed the inner image of her and me. 5D is based on real love, not inner desire. What the love is, and I will make a video because the soul relationships are not understood. And a lot of the information is just a fog, not clear. It's all about the benefit for the new society that will bring us to the age of Aquarius. I wrote this a few years back. I came here to serve others with honor your soul. So when we're talking about inner image, here's the little descriptions of it. I will try to kind of like bring it to a position so you can read it. Okay. A mental image or a mental picture as an experience of that on most occasions significantly resembles the experience of perceiving some object, event, or scene, but occurs when the relevant object, event, or scene is not actually present to the senses. Mental imaginary can sometimes produce the same effect as it will produce the behavior or experience imagined. And sometimes this can be an illusion. So, when you create, open up yourself into the soul, you get an awakening to it, you begin to create this mental image. That mental image, that inner image that is inside of you, begins to create the picture of your life. It's the same thing like in a 3D. You meet some person who you like. That could be your spouse. That could be your significant other. And what do? The first thing, you begin to create some kind of planning. You begin to create some image inside of you, how the life should be. You create this inner image. But the same inner image is created also within your partner. So you kind of like putting together a inner image, and you begin to develop yourself to a family. So you get in a house, you get into everything, and little by little, that inner image is not the same. All of a sudden, a few years later in the marriage, the things are not the same. Something is missing. So what you had in mind is not what it's actually in the reality. So in the 4D, that inner image is that person who are waking you up. So when you go and you see that person, you look at it into that person and stay with that person for so long inside of you, and there is no reality. Something doesn't happen into the reality. Something doesn't go well. The one person is chasing the other, the other is running, and you're waiting on that person to become like you. And when you look at that picture of that inner image inside of you, you blocking yourself for everything else. And when you're blocking yourself for everything else, you not basically do nothing. You not serving to yourself, you're not serving to the universe, and you're not serving, pretty much doesn't have a relationship to be as an example to lead the way. As you had a mental picture that with that person, you will be have this inside of it. The common sense is not there at some point. And when you're crossing to the 5D, you will look at it that this inner image you created will be destroyed. Why? Because the reality of the 5D is going to hurt you. It's going to crash that false image because it was created by you. And when the universe getting involved, the universe is going to help you to understand that inner image that you created, because that inner image is incomplete. That inner image does not have its own particular part to be manifested into the reality. And if it's not manifested into reality, therefore it is illusion. A lot of the people create those illusions inside of it. And when you're crossing into the 5D, the real reality face you in the face, and then you're going to have a crash in your belief system, like you had a crash when you wake up into the 4D. The only difference here in the 5D is that the reality is much, much stronger with the presence of the universe inside of you. Carl Jung said, synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have the eyes to see. A lot of the people, they are blind. They don't have the eyes to see because they see their own inner desires. They see their own inner pictures. They see what they created in their mind of what the reality should be. When you cross into 5D, the synchronicities, the way they work fast, quick, and amazing. But the energy of the 5D is something what we call at home. When you come back home into the 5D, you will have the inner peace of the soul, and you will have the right things inside of you. On these situations, Zavet, when the synchronicity hits you with reality, you will understand that inner image inside of you is crashed. Because things that you thought that will happen with someone or for some reason, right now they happen on their own for a different reason. For a reason of service, for a reason to understand, for the reasons that benefit not only you, but benefit the universe as well. Because in the 5D, you work with the universe. And that is going to be the one synchronicity that Carl Jung was talking about, that when you got into that world, then your understanding is going to be much better. The truth. See, when that image of the person is inside of you, you carry it with you. But in reality, nothing happens. When the 5D kicks in, this power of truth, oh boy, that will crash the same thing like you crash when you wake up your soul into the 4D. Because here in the 5D, the reality is much more stronger, much more present, and the things they're going fast. You can go ahead and have a breakdown in a 5D, and when you go back and put in the mental picture of the universe in front of you, less than an hour, so you're going to go back inside of the 5D, and you're going to do amazing stuff that you never done before. Because when you go back home, you understand what you have to do for the universe. And it's going to be based out of the truth. See, the truth is truth, and the universe wants to show the truth. And sometimes the universe is going to take over and you're going to do things that, how did the hell I did that for? You just did it. Why? The power of the truth. The power of the truth of what it is. Who's going to accept the truth? That's none of your business. Your business is to show up the truth. So here is this quote. I'm going to read you a little bit out of it. When you face the truth, you take a shot on your karma. You basically do the right actions. When you hide it from the truth, you try to hide from your destiny. So, if you hide yourself or you hide something, you hide it from your own destiny. If your destiny it is you to go out and helping people, if your destiny it is with someone, if your destiny it is to be within the universe, where the universe puts you, you come here, you stay with that truth. If that doesn't happen, is that the truth? No, it's not. So you're not doing anything. When you face the truth, you realize all the energy that you release all the energy that troubled you in the past. You will heal the past. You're going to work on this past because you will understand that past the way it is. When you hide it from the truth, you suppress all the energy that hurt you in the past. When you face the truth, you are free from repeating all the pain. And that's why when we do the 5D videos, we're trying to get the people away from that pain. We're trying to tell them to face the truth. And the truth is truth. It can't be anything else. If the truth is a lie, then therefore it's a lie. If you hide the truth, you're bound to repeat the same worse experience. And at the bottom, learn your lessons and let go. And that is the one reason of the original twin flame had to go, because there is no truth there. In the reality, in the real world, in the real work, in the real situations, the things that needs to be done, they has no coverage of anything. It is something that has no purpose. And that purpose is not there. Therefore, you can serve. So, we're talking about the wrong person and the right person. When you get into the 5D, the universe will connect you to a person. If you leave the hands, the life, your situation, the way of your 3D, 4D life is, when you leave everything in the hands of God and everything in the hands of the universe is going to show you the way, who is the right person for you. The wrong person make you beg for attention, affection, love, and commitment. The right person give you these things because they love you. In a 4D, the twin flames, especially because we talk about this in a soul relationship, if that part here, they love you, exist, there is going to be some good chances things to get better, because they're going to give you everything. But if they give you nothing, absolutely nothing, what's the chance you're going to do the right things? What's the chance if they're the right person? And when that reality hits you in the 5D, you will understand that the right person will give you the things on their own. It's going to come in naturally. Not because you beg, you ask, you make calls, you make letters, you try to reach them, they block you, unblock you, then they block you, then they leave you a message, and so on and so on. Over the years that I work with a lot of the people, I hear so many stories, and they all lead to one thing. They lead to reality that doesn't have anything to do about love you. Only kind of like a few stories end up sort of in a good way. So, into the 5D, you will learn this pretty good. You can't just stay in the same spot and you're expecting to evolve. Every time you are tempted to react in the same old way, ask yourself if you want to be a prisoner of the past or pioneer of the future. And when you cross into the 5D, that part of the pioneer of the future is going to be so strong. It's the same way about the people who cross the path from the 3D to the 4D. They begin to learn and teach about the twin flames. Into the 5D, this energy is going to be a very strong, and it's going to be a very powerful inside of you. You won't be any more prisoner of the past. Simply, when you're in the 5D, you will not resonate with the 3D. You will not resonate with the duality in the 4D. Anytime when you go down and you begin to have dualities, you're like, hell no, I'm not staying here. I don't like it here. Been there for so long. Don't want it. Don't need it. I am part of the future. I want to stay in my 5D. I want to be my inner peace. I want to have my home. I want to be at peace. I don't want to have these dualities of the same old way. And the 5D, you will understand this very well. Souls do not have calendars or clocks, nor do they understand the notion of time or distance. They only know it feels right to be with one another. This part, to be with one another, it's going to feel like inner need to be with one another. But what I'm talking about, the inner need, it is about the hours and hours and hours of talk, hours and hours of communication, hours and hours of healing, hours and hours of exchange of energy, and hours of hours create a one collective inner image with the universe involved. In a 5D, that energy, it's more than just magic. It's more than just something that is just present. It's just there. And when you tap into it, to that energy, you don't want to have another relationship. You don't want to have anything else. You have an inner image that it's not illusion. You have an inner image with the person who you build your inner world together. And when you begin to build that inner world together, you will understand exactly this. Because you're not creating an image which is like in a 4D. Only with that person, you talk to that person and they don't want to have nothing to do with you. You see that person, you go, you see them again into the physical world. They're not the same. They don't resonate with you. You go ahead and text that person and they are like, sorry, I have a feelings for somebody else. I don't have a feelings for you. But here in the 5D, when you have a soul connections, that last part, they only know it feels right to be one another. And that part, when they try to be with something else, they go back home and they say, there is nothing better feels like home. Because home in the 5D within a person who's got the same conscious, the same soul vibrations with you, it is something amazing. And this is why we give you this videos about 5D, so you can be looking at more into the actual reality when you evolve on your conscious, because that way it's going to be much better to be for you in your life. Your marriage. Oh, that's a funny one. Marriage. Let me read it first. Your marriage in God's hand is the best place in the universe. Give it to Him. I talked about in the previous videos about marriage, union, however you want to call it, partnership. See, on the 3D, you look for someone physical. They have to match your physical presentation of the way the person is. You look at them, how they act, how they tolerate other people, their good, the bad sides, and you're trying to fit your inner picture with that person. And if they're gonna be good for me, they match with my inner picture. Can I build a life with them? They can love me to the rest of the days. And you keep looking for that person and keep looking for that person. And once you find a person who actually matches your inner picture, and you say, okay, that's fine, we're gonna go ahead and gonna get married. But now, where the God is in that position? Not really. So over the time, when the time passes by, your soul is not satisfied. Your soul looks for something else. And when the soul begins to search, they tap into a frequency with another soul. They're getting connected to it, they're getting awakened. And when they get awakened, maybe the things will work, maybe the things won't. Maybe the persons, they have issues, maybe they're married, maybe they're a different race, maybe they're a different culture, maybe they are la 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 la, and so many things. And when there's so many things, there is so many problems. And you begin to think, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe this. You begin to create an assumptions. And a lot of the people who create actions based on the assumptions, they create the wrong actions. And those actions has nothing pretty much to do with the reality. Compared to the 5D, the actions which is they're created by them both with the presence of the universe. And when those actions comes into play, they're much better. And that's why when I talked to you earlier in the video, I told you, you gotta leave it in the hands of God. You have to leave yourself in the hands of the universe. The universe knows exactly who the person you need to be, not you. The universe knows. And when you find that resonance into the 5D, when you cross that 5D pattern, when you wake it up there, you will understand that what you have to do doesn't pick it up your own self of image about marriage. You have to leave it in God's hands. The reason I'm telling you this is, you all know, a year ago, I ended up in an accident at work. I burned my face, as you see it. I stopped to believe that from now on I will have someone to be with me. I stopped believe that someone will either getting close to me or having a relationship with me. As you know, my brother is in the Czech Republic. Was in a hospital, and I never planned it after that to even kind of like a try even to be with a woman or try to be even in the relationship. But when this big guy put his hands on something, he does it. So a couple months before that, I left everything to God. I told him, I'm here for you to serve. You know what to do when it's the right thing to do. You know what it's the right situations as the way they are. I haven't been celebrate Christmas for quite a few years. But this year I bought me a Christmas tree and I said to God, I'll celebrate Christmas. Whatever it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Whatever it is, I have a family, I will do it. So I bought myself a Christmas tree. I put it up here. I put some Christmas lights. I prepare everything for Christmas. But an unfortunately offense happened with my brother, so I had to go into the Czech Republic. For one way or another, the big guy had a different plans. Someone was with me at all the time, make sure I was okay. That someone later on I met, and that someone right now I am so much in love and connection with it because of this big guy. Because that person accept me as who I am, the way I am right now. That person accept me as a soul. That person accept me. That person accept our age gap. And that person understands the thing the way I understand. So when you let everything in God's hands, you will know how the things will happen. But it's magic. And when the magic happens, and God wants to give you a Christmas present, He will. And that's what it's all about. It is about love, to be in love. And I want to finish with this image inside of you. When you're crossing into the 5D, when you have the universe inside of you, of the both individuals, the universe will do the magic when those two have their both inner worlds coming together. And when they come together, you will find out that their inner world is exactly the same as your inner world. And this is the time when the universe will help you with everything that it needs to be to clear everything out. So in order this inner world to create the inner magic, the inner image that's gonna be a one inner image inside of them, a one inner image. And that inner image involves the soul, the mind, the heart, the body, and involves the universe. It supports the universe. And that's what actually 5D is. It is an inner image in a both individual that materialize the inner image inside of them into the reality, not just imaginary things that doesn't work. If something doesn't work, then it's not meant to be. It is about to let it go. Because the most important part is it's the time when you understand you have to be everything else in this world to do with love. Be love.